So we are 2/3 of the way through the year, and in terms of gaming, being a bit meh. Hasn't been all that great really. We haven't had anything too outstanding that's, been released. But in these last 4 months, we've actually got some stuff to look forward to. We've got some good stuff on the way, believe it or not. And here is a preview of what is actually to come. So first off, we've got eFootball 2022, which is just PES. It's been rebranded. That's coming out in September 30th. It is releasing as a demo of sorts, as the game is now free to play. You don't need to buy it. You just install it, and then they release content as the year goes on. So to start off, the game's not going to necessarily have a whole lot of content. It's just going to be updated gameplay. It will be cross-platform between consoles, so like Xbox and PlayStation can play with each other, which is kind of cool. But no one really plays the game anyway, unfortunately. Then that will apply to PC and then actually mobile as well. So someone could be playing like eFootball on PlayStation. They could play someone on phone. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's cool that it's cross-platform and all that, but I don't think it's the most appealing thing. I don't think it's going to get people like buying the game, get them super invested. But that is coming out. So as it's free, I guess it would be worth trying. Just see what the gameplay is like. PES has kind of had better gameplay than FIFA in recent years, although that's not necessarily hard to do. But just the package as a whole, the way it works, like the menus, the content in the actual game, it's not worth picking over FIFA. Talking of FIFA, that'll be next on October 1st. You get early access when the special edition is bought, so you'll get it like a few days before, maybe like September 28th. Of course, if you've seen the trailer, they're bragging about like new gameplay features, special touches, unique player touches, all this sort of stuff. I mean, sure, okay, I guess it's new, but I mean, the graphics will definitely look better, of course, because it's next gen now. The PS5 upgrade for FIFA 21, it certainly looked better, but it still played awful. That's my gripe with FIFA. But the thing for me is I need a game like FIFA in my life. I need a game where I can just hop on for like 20, 25 minutes if I just got like a little urge to play something, and then I can do that rather than having to get into like a big, like open world story game, which I kind of need more time to dedicate to. But yeah, more gameplay features, more details to career mode, blah, 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 sure there's more to Ultimate Team, but I reckon it's the same thing, but I will buy it, of course, because every year I say it's going to be the same old shit, but I still get it. The menu layout will look different colours, all that, but, the game is $69.99 on next gen. It's not cheap, so you hope you're getting something decent for that much money. Far Cry 6 is next, October the 7th. This looks like an improvement on the past few games, because Primal was a bit iffy, but it's not bad. 5 was awful, and then they released like that expansion pack to 5, but it was sort of branded as a new game. I think it was Far Cry New Horizons or something, or New Dawn. I can't remember what it was called. But Far Cry for me hasn't been truly enjoyable since Far Cry 4, and even then, that wasn't as good as its predecessor, Far Cry 3. So they kind of need to get the mojo back. They need to get the good stuff back. This game definitely looks better. There's some few things in the gameplay I'm not so keen on, such as they've added like enemy health bars to when you're shooting them, so they've got like a bar above their head. I don't think that's really, a necessary addition, and, they've added perks as well, so stuff just kind of seems overpowered. But, I mean, we'll see how that plays out, but it certainly looks better. It's nice that they've gone back to these, like, exotic location, because Far Cry 5 was just set in the US, but, 3, obviously tropical island, 4, like, like the Himalayan mountains and stuff. I like these sort of tropical environments with crazy wildlife, crazy people, that Far Cry, this certainly looks like it's getting back to its best. This will cost $59.99 on PS4 and PS5, and then Xbox One and Xbox Series X. Back 4 Blood, this is October 12th. October's a busy month for sure. It's kind of like a modern update of Left 4 Dead. It's being made by the same people that made the first game, same developers. It looks like a fun shooting game, whether it will have like the same feel though, because of course if you played Left 4 Dead or Left 4 Dead 2, it just felt right. It just felt fun as a shooter. It felt like you're having a good time on it. But as you know, some games like that just don't feel right when you start playing them. They just don't feel as good. But I'm hoping this is going to be a decent game, like a decent remake. I'm hoping it's going to have a fair amount of content as well, because they are charging $59.99 for this. So you've got to hope that when you're buying that, you are getting a full game, a full package. And of course, it's like a co-op game as well, so you're going to want to have some friends to play with this, otherwise you're just playing with AI. But hopefully the game is good enough to the point where you're playing with AI and it's not actually an issue, like you're still going to have fun. But, we'll have to keep an eye on that one. Now, a big one here, Battlefield 2042. This is October 22nd. Battlefield is going futuristic. For once, they're going 21 years in the future, which is cool. I was a bit questionable about that at first because I always sort of held Battlefield in high esteem because of the fact that they kept it modern and, well, not necessarily modern, but just real, either staying in the modern day or, going back to previous wars. So I kind of hope they keep that. But, they're going in the future, but they're not taking it to, like, Call of Duty levels with, like, jetpacks and all this crap. Instead, they're just sort of adding slightly futuristic vehicles, like weapons, and as well as tech. Like drones, robot dogs, all that sort of thing. Like stuff you could see being realistic in 21 years' time. Stuff you could be like, you know what, that makes sense. Like you can get vehicles dropped as well. Like apparently you can airdrop tanks or something, like a carrier, like an aircraft will drop that off to you, which is a cool addition. Apparently you can drop that on enemy snipers too, which sounds like a great way to get a kill. Now on top of this futuristic setting, they've got this mode. I think it's All Out Warfare. I don't know if that's a specific mode, or if that's just like a category that has modes like Conquest in. And this will include 128 player lobbies, which is the biggest they've ever done. This is like double what they've ever done before, because the biggest they had before was 64, but it was, so you had 32v32, which even then was pretty damn big. So now they're doing 64 versus 64. So the maps are going to be bigger, and you're going to have like subsections to each map. So you'll kind of pick a section to spawn in, but you can still traverse the whole section. You can go to other parts of the map. Levolution has also been stepped up. Of course, Levolution is the fact that you can alter the environment in a multiplayer game, such as, destroying a dam like in Battlefield 4, knocking down a skyscraper. You can do things like that, of course, again. But on top of that, they've added weather effects in terms of like tornadoes, like they on tsunamis. They will come in and affect the game. You can get killed by them. You can fly up in the tornado. It looks insane. It really looks incredible, and I can't wait for this. This is like the most fun, like first-person shooter online ever. There is no campaign for this game. Doesn't bother me all that much, but I know it's going to bother some people because they were hoping for a campaign. But for online, classes have been swapped for specialists, meaning any specialist can use any weapon. So it's not like, if you spawn as a certain specialist, you won't be able to use a sniper. Like everyone can use any weapon that they've unlocked. But of course, each specialist will have like specific perks, like advantages. Maybe you get like med kits, extra ammo pouches, that sort of thing. And apparently there's going to be 10 of them. This game, standard edition, will cost you $69.99, PS4, and, well, I know that's the next gen price, actually, so I'm not sure. Maybe PS4 and Xbox One might be cheaper. Forza Horizon 5, I mean, I'm not an Xbox man myself, but of course, this is like a big one because Forza's kind of the biggest racing game going at the moment. This is out November 5th if you've like bought Special Edition, or the 9th if you're buying the normal one. It's set in Mexico, this one, and it includes 11 biomes. So you've got like canyons, volcanoes, jungles, the city, etc., etc. Like deserts, cactus, all that crap. This will come to Xbox's Game Pass. Of course, the Game Pass is the thing where you pay a monthly subscription and then you get to play anything on there. But they do take games on and off. So, obviously that's something that does bug players about it. But, the fact they put brand new games straight on Game Pass, if you're paying, I believe it's £15 a month, that's kind of great for this. Apparently audio has been improved, so the car will make different noises based on the location it's being driven, and like the road it's been driven on. Is it tarmac, is it sand, that sort of thing, because apparently people were complaining about that in terms of Forza Horizon 4. The modes for this game include like free roam, street races, battle royale mode, and a mode about popping pinatas whilst driving. I don't really know how that works. And expedition mode, which lets people create their own races. So, it sounds like people are getting a lot of freedom, creativity in this Forza game. Obviously, it's something I'm very unlikely to play because I don't have the hardware to play it. But, it looks like it's just an improvement on 4, sort of, just adding more to it and, switching up the location a bit. This will only cost $54.99, so it's not bad. But, of course, I feel like most people that have Xbox Series X probably have Game Pass because it's just such a good idea to have it. I know I would have it if I had the Xbox. Call of Duty Vanguard. Yes, they're making another one. This comes out November 5th. So this is the 18th Call of Duty. Yes, 18th. And once again, it's returning to World War II. This must be the 3rd or 4th trip back to World War II. Because they've run out of wars to milk. We need to clearly have another war in real life so they can fucking do that in a game, because they've used up all the old ones. This will launch with a campaign, a multiplayer, and a zombies. Multiplayer will have 20 maps, and it will also bring back a CQC mode called Champion Hill, which will be like that gunfight mode, so that'll have like 1v1s, 2v2s, 3v3s, all that. I've seen bits of this. It doesn't look like anything new to me. I hate to say it. You hope you watch a trailer or watch some gameplay and be like, wow, this actually looks like something different. It doesn't. It just looks like the same thing. Again, this will set you back $69.99 for the standard edition. I'm sure there'll be all these expensive editions for like 150 quid, you know, where you get all this other stuff. I don't think there's been a mention of a Warzone, but of course Warzone's like a separate thing now, so I'm sure they'll just release that, you know, Vanguard update for Warzone. Now, a big one I'm excited for, Grand Theft Auto 5 Next Gen update, November 11th. I'd kind of forgotten about this, but I've been doing some research on it recently. This is something I'm genuinely excited for. I have a PS5. I'm very lucky enough to have one. I managed to get one a few months back, and I have kind of wanted to play GTA 5, but it feels very outdated now. Even the PS4 version feels outdated, you know, up to like a few years ago, due to the fact that like the frame rate, just, you know, like if you're going through a street very fast, you know, it just doesn't sort of load in things around you very well. So the hope is, and it's kind of rumored, that this game, you know, on next gen will run at 4K 60 frames per second, which would be great. You know, I'd love to see 60 frames on this. You know, it doesn't necessarily have to update the graphics massively, because that would take a lot of work, I know, but you know, just to sort of update it, give it a fresher look, a smoother look, so it runs how it looks on PC, because when you see GTA 5 on PC, it looks great. It looks so much better. But, you know, in terms of like details, all they've said is expanded and enhanced. So, you know, that could mean anything. That could mean loads of things have been done. It could just mean a few little tweaks. Now, online will be free for PS5 users until February 2022. I assume that means you get it permanently free, not you just get it free until February 2022. But, you know, that's a cool addition. But it's unknown what Xbox will be doing about this, if the online is going to be free or if they're just going to charge you for that. PlayStation are also getting pretty much all the bonuses for this game, as logging into the game every month before this release gives you $1 million. They've been doing that for like a couple of years now, maybe a year or something. It feels like a long time, but I personally haven't been doing it. I haven't got the game installed because you don't get much storage on the PlayStation 5, but maybe I will install it just so I can do that, because obviously, you know, you log on, you get $1 million, but as we know, $1 million isn't much in GTA anymore. It might get you a car, but probably not one of the newer ones, because they all start off at a few million. There's no gameplay footage for this. There was a trailer that I hadn't even seen, but I watched that recently. That'll be what you're seeing on screen. But yeah, it's just sort of teasing it, November 11th, so it's you know, we're in the dark about what we'll actually be getting, but, you know, we can be intrigued. We might get a few more details in the coming months, as we've still got a couple months yet before it comes out. Dying Light 2, December 7th. So this is set 20 years after the first game. You know, it's keeping the same sort of thing. It's parkour, it's fun, it's zombies, you know, big open world, but, you know, this is just expanding on it. There are like different gangs and crews to navigate, new zombie types, and choices to be made that affect the story, which is a cool little addition to it. Whether it will suit this game or not, I don't know, but, you know, that's always fun to do when you sort of feel like you're in control of the story and affecting how it pans out. The story can be played with friends as well, apparently. It's a 2 to 4 player co-op, which is cool. You know, you got to hope someone gets it with you when it releases, and but, you know, I think you can just sort of hop into each other's worlds, and you can see how stuff has changed if you've done the storyline different to them, so you'll get to see like a different perspective, maybe like another gang is in charge, so you'll see things in their game that you haven't seen in your game. Weapon customization will also be a thing, so that allows like more variety. So yeah, just in general, this game is expanding upon everything that the first game did, which, you know, it looks cool. I don't think the story is really going to be anything groundbreaking. The first one was okay in terms of story, but nothing special. This game is all about just the parkour, the free roam, the fun, the zombie killing, and the horror. You know, the first game was really good. Hopefully this pushes on and does better. This will cost you about $54.99. Last one, Halo Infinite, another Xbox game. Of course, I don't have an Xbox, so, you know, I won't be playing this, but I was a fan of the Halo series when I had Xbox 360. I played Halo 3, Halo ODST, and Halo Reach. They were sort of, I played a bit of 4 too. They were sort of the main Halo games on that console. Now, this is the 6th main game, following on from Halo 5 Guardians. I never saw anything to do with that. I never played it or watched gameplay. Not much is known about the plot, except that it regards one of Halo's rings is damaged, and the villains are supposedly a brute group called the Banished that broke off from the Covenant. So, I mean, the plot sounds cool. The game, I'm sure, will be cool. I'm sure it's going to look very good. You know, this game will actually be part of the Game Pass again as well, which is really cool. But if you don't have the Game Pass, $54.99, just like Forza Horizon 5. Now, people have been waiting for this game for a while. It was originally meant to drop with the Xbox Series X launch in November 2020, but it's been delayed massively, you know, so it's like over a year later. But, you know, hopefully this brings the franchise back. I heard Guardians wasn't too good. It didn't receive too much reception, so hopefully this sort of pushes on, brings it back to former glory, and, you know, Whether this will be the last, I don't know, but this could be the one that, you know, sort of wraps up the story. But I hope to play this game one day, or at least watch the gameplay for it. So yeah, everybody, that is my preview for all the games coming out before the end of the year. We've really had a dry spell up to now, but now we're really getting treated with the good stuff, the big stuff. We just sort of had like occasional remasters and whatnot, and that's just because of next gen coming out in terms of the PS5 and Xbox Series X. So we've just sort of been getting your remasters of old stuff. It's like, okay, you can play that game again now. It's like, I mean, that's cool, but kind of wanted something new. But now we're getting new games. So most of these games will be coming out on the old gen as well. I think pretty much all of them are. I think they're all coming out on old gen. That means they'll be a bit cheaper some of the time, but you know, they won't have, you know, the same sort of graphics, and they won't necessarily be able to play with, you know, if you've got it on PS4, you won't be able to play with PS5 some of the time, and you know, that goes both ways for Xbox too. So that's a bit of a shame, you know, because next gen consoles are so hard to get a hold of at the moment. But yeah, we've got some exciting stuff coming up. I will definitely be playing some of these on the channel, not the Xbox ones of course, but some of the other ones for sure. I'm very excited to see them. Guys, let me know, what game are you most excited for out of this lineup? Which ones do you plan on getting? Your Xbox, PS4, or you know, Xbox, PS5, whatever. Let me know what you got. Let me know what you plan on playing. Yeah, hope you enjoyed that video today, guys, and I will see all of you in the next one.